again. Today we are talking about starting small. If you're not ready to start where you are, using what you have, the sad news is that you might never start. Okay, but if you are willing to start where you are, using what you have, then congratulations to you because you are on your way to greatness. I understand that when we see people who are where we want to be, we wish we can be there, but we have to understand that everybody started small. Okay, most people that are celebrities today were not born as celebrities. Most people that are really good at what they are doing now, they were not born that way. Many people that you see on social media that have a large following, nobody came to social media with a large following. The creators, artists and everything, they developed those followers, developed their talent and built up themselves over time. Okay, there's nothing wrong with starting small. There is nothing wrong with starting confused. There is nothing wrong with starting alone. There is nothing wrong with starting from the bottom. There is nothing wrong starting before you are ready. Okay, some of us like to wait until we are really ready, but there is no such thing as being 100% ready. That's facts. You will never be 100% ready. If you feel like you are 100% ready, there is still something that is lacking, there is still something that is missing, but it doesn't matter. The best approach is to start and then build on what you have started. That is the best approach. And the thing about thinking things and the thing about overthinking what we want to do, doing research and planning day by day by day by day for months, 2 months, you are procrastinating. While you're procrastinating, you're telling yourself that you're planning and doing your research, but the thing about that is that you are only living in the idea of doing that thing. You are not really implementing that thing. The only way you can get good at something is if you start it and then take feedback and do better than what you have done the previous day. The only way you can really see how much, okay, let's say for example now you are let's say you want to be a painter or an artist. The only way to really know if you're good at painting or if you're good as an artist is if you try to paint and then you work on the painting that you have done to get better. Hi Camden, Doubting, welcome to the live. Hi Nozni, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for being here. Today we are discussing starting small, starting before you are ready, starting confused, starting lonely, starting before you feel like it is your time to start. Basically, we just want to celebrate starting as a whole. You don't have to be perfect before you start, and just know that everybody starts from the bottom, everybody starts from somewhere, and you can look up to other people who are doing really good, but also know and acknowledge that they also started from small and then they grew up to the top. There's no need to be envious of people that are doing well. All you have to do is build on yourself to the capacity that you would like yourself to be at, which is which is the right thing to do, which is great, which is perfect. Not everybody will get to the top, but with a lot of hard work, dedication, you definitely grow and be better than you were yesterday. Hi to everyone joining the live. Thank you so much for being here. If you have contributions, please you can drop them in comment section. I would be reading comments and replying where necessary. Okay, and some of us don't like where we start. We don't like what we have when we start. For example, you want to let's say you want to create content. You may not like your background, you may not like how your content looks in general because of you might be lacking in equipment, you may be lacking in certain things that you need to do. And let's not forget that if you want to start out perfect, you might need more money than you currently have. Okay, and not everybody is capable of financing themselves. Not everybody is capable of raising so much money overnight. So what do? You have to start where you are so that you can be able to grow your finances, raise your finances so that you can be able to afford the other things that you want. Even if you're an artist or a musician that is starting out, you might not be able to pay for long studio sessions or studio hours. So what do? It doesn't mean that you give up on your dream. It just means that you have to start where you are so that you can be able to raise finances. Now, this is something about following your passion. This is something about following your heart. This is something about doing what you love. What you love or your passion may not be paying the bills immediately, may not be paying the bills currently. So for the meantime, you have to do something else that pays the bills so that you can be able to fund your passion. Do you understand me? Nobody is saying don't go after your passion, but your passion is not paying the bills now. Your passion is not bringing in money now. Your passion is not lucrative for the moment because you're not really good at what you do yet, or nobody knows you yet, nobody's booking your services yet. So you need to find something else doing, something that pays the bills, okay? Then that thing that pays the bills, either a 9 to 5 job, or either a business, or either anything that you can do that would raise money. So you can put that money into your passion, okay? You can use that money to fund your passion, all right? And you may not still get all the money that you need, because don't forget that as long as you're a human being, every day you have bills to pay, every day you have something to do with money. Either you're paying rent, or you're feeding yourself, you're buying new clothes, paying for your transportation. Every day there's just always something to do as long as you are alive, okay? So the money that you make from either your business or your 9 to 5, your corporate work, volunteer work, anything that you do to stay afloat, the money that you make, you can put, let's say, probably 50%, depends on how tough you want to go, or 40% of the money, depends on how hard you want to ride. You can put that to fund your passion project, okay? And just know that you may not break even immediately. You may not start making millions of dollars immediately, but it's a gradual process, it's a slow process. And don't hate your beginnings, okay? Do not hate your beginnings. Do not talk down on your beginnings. One thing about me is that I'm an advocate for enjoying every phase of life that you are in, okay? Whatever phase of life that you find yourself in, I'm an advocate for enjoying it. I'm an advocate for having a good time in that phase, because that phase may not come twice, okay? If you're broke now, you make money tomorrow, you may never be broke again. Okay, so that broke phase is gone. If you didn't make use of it at that moment, you might feel like it's a dirty phase or whatever. But by the time you become rich, you realize that there are certain things that you did when you were broke. There are certain things that you could get away with when you were broke that you cannot get away with now that you have money. Now that you're popular, now that you're well known, there are certain things that you can no longer do. There are certain things that you can no longer get away with. So please enjoy the phase of life that you are in as much as possible. Have a good time in this phase of life, because it may never come again, okay? You may never be this same age at this particular moment with this same friends, in this same company, in this same state, having like maybe $20 in your account. You may never be at this stage again. So just enjoy it for what it is. Enjoy the highs and the lows, okay? And there's something I do say, that I'm grateful for where I am while hoping for better, okay? Grateful for the life I have while working hard towards the life that I want. That's something that I say. You can appreciate what you have while still trying to get more. You can be contented but not complacent. Two very different things, okay? Contentment does not mean that you're lazy. Contentment does not mean you being relaxed. Contentment does not mean that you don't want to work harder, okay, or you don't want more out of life. Contentment just means that you appreciate what you have while you work for more, and you're not willing to do anything illegal or morally wrong just to make money. Yeah, that's contentment. So like I said, do not hate your beginnings, okay? Do not hate your starting points. Everybody starts from somewhere. Everybody starts small. What you need to do actually, or what's going to keep you going, is waking up every day and doing your best. Waking up every day and giving it your best shot. Waking up every day and going as hard as you can. There's something that is currently my motto. It's make every day count, because in cumulating life, every day counts, okay? What you do every day, tiny drops of water every day eventually fills up the bucket, right? Doing something little by little every day, it eventually becomes a habit. It eventually becomes something that you are used to. Hi, LCG lover, welcome to the live. We are discussing appreciating our beginnings. Please let me know where you're joining in from, and let me know if you have any contributions to the topic being discussed. I hope you had a great day. It's Monday, and currently at my time it's almost midnight. So I I didn't really think anyone would join the live because it's quite late, but if you are awake, thank you so much for being here anyways. Okay, all the way from Georgia in the United States. That's nice. That's the far distance from where I am, and we're in two very different continents, but it's nice to see that I have audiences from all around. So I appreciate you being here. While you're here, LCG lover, please don't forget to give this live a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I I appreciate you I appreciate you very much. Yes, so back to the topic of yes, I can see that you liked the video. Thank you so much. So back to the topic that we're discussing. Do not hate your beginnings, because your beginnings literally make up your life story, and it's the things that you do every day that eventually accumulate to you having a great life. It's you putting in the hard work, you being disciplined, perseverance, resilience, dedication. These are some of the qualities that eventually decide whether you would be as successful as you want or not. Of course, there are so many things that plays the factors, but you yourself, you have to be responsible for your life. You have to take your destiny into your own hands. I'm not a fan of like blaming other people or complaining or things like that. No matter how bad your life has been, you have the power to rewrite it. As far as I'm concerned, you get to a certain age that you can no longer point fingers at other people, okay? Because now you have grown, you are in charge of your life. You can, make certain decisions that will change your life and turn your life around. So you cannot keep blaming something that happened to you when you were a teenager. You cannot keep going back to things that happened to you in your early 20s or when you were really young, in your childhood. We cannot just keep blaming childhood trauma for how badly some of us turn out, okay? Okay, I can see your comments, LCG. Okay, something interesting. Okay, you can leave ideas. I will be reading them. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, you're also a YouTuber. That's nice. So you can drop some ideas or suggestions for me in the comments box, so I can follow your suggestion. Follow the I'm not a fan of following trends, okay, because I believe so much in authenticity. Trending things come and go. Today something is trending, tomorrow another thing is trending. So do you keep changing your personality every single time? It means that you have no identity. It means that you don't even know who you are because you're just following the trends. That's how I see it anyways. I'm not one to follow trends. That's not why I'm here. I don't following trends is not my thing. Basically, no hate or shade to anyone that does, but it's not something that I do at all, and it's not something that I have any interest in doing. Hi Junior, it's always nice to see you. Anyone, why are you always awake by this time? Because I noticed that if I do a live by this time, you always joining. Probably it's because of your profession. But anyways, today I've been discussing starting small and then growing, okay, appreciating your little beginnings and not despising it, because growth is for people who work hard, for people who put in the work, for people who are dedicated, disciplined, who work hard, who persevere, who are resilient. Growth is inevitable. Okay, you will definitely grow more than where you are today, as long as you keep staying consistent and putting in the work. So appreciate where you are now, because you will never be at this point again. That's just what I was explaining before you join the live. It's okay to start small. It's okay to be little. Will I say little? Yeah, it's okay to be little. Actually, it's okay to start from your little apartment. There are certain people that I've spoken to that say they want to try their hand at making videos online or creating content, but they feel like they don't have the perfect background, they don't have perfect camera and things like that. And it's quite shocking, because every day I come online, I see different people that are putting out different kind of content. They have even grown an audience and a following, but they don't have the perfect background, they don't have the perfect camera. There's something that I tell people too, that you were given your circumstances for a reason. So if you don't make use of those circumstances that you have been given, then you're doing yourself a great disadvantage. Okay, if you look at everybody, most people that I know that they've grown from something, their background is usually their story. Your circumstance is usually their story, either their childhood trauma or whatever they went through before they became popular. That's usually their story, and that's where they start from, and they grow on that. Okay, so everybody can see that, okay, this is where they started from, and they grew up to this height, they grew up to this level. So whatever circumstances that you find yourself in, you were given that for a reason. Okay, there was a reason that the world or God decided that, okay, you have to be born here, because you would be the best person to take advantage of that situation. So if you don't, then you are not being true to yourself. Some of us like to copy other people's story. We want to copy other people's pattern because we feel like it's cool. Okay, but that person came out to say something that was unique to them, and you have also been given the opportunity to do that same thing by making something great out of your unique situation. But some of us don't even recognize that we have been given something special. We feel like other people's story is more important than us. We feel like the unique things other people have is much more better than ours, and that is just a sort of blindsidedness, right? Will I call it that? Because the other person's story is not more important than yours. Okay, what the other person has been through, or how the other person brands themselves or presents themselves, is not much more important than you. It's just that you have downplayed yourself, and you have convinced yourself that you have to imitate the other person for you to do something, or for you to become somebody, or for you to become successful, or for you to be acceptable. Which is why we really need to find ourselves beyond acceptance. Okay, some of us do certain things because we want to be accepted, because we want to be liked. But let's just say, if nobody was around to either applaud you or bring you down, if nobody was around to say yes, to say no, if nobody was around to either raise you up or bring you down, what would you be doing? What kind of person would you be? If there was no applause, if there was no booing, what kind of person would you be? I think that's something we really need to figure out, because um validation is very fleeting. Okay, it doesn't last. If you do something that everybody agrees with, of course they're going to, like, cheer for you. But the day you do something that everybody doesn't agree with, they're going to try to bring you down. So if you are moved by either the acceptance or rejection of other people, then how do you stay true to yourself? How do you stand firm on your values? Because people are not always going to agree with whatever it is that you say, which is a fact, and you cannot just sway towards what the crowd is saying. So I think in the midst of it all, we really need to find our own identity, have our own voice, and be our own self. The journey from the bottom to the top, I think, is actually a journey of self acceptance. Okay, because if you do not accept yourself, learn to love yourself, learn to find yourself, know your identity, know your purpose, and embrace it, it will actually be difficult for you, because throughout your journey of being from the bottom to the top, so many things will happen to you. You encounter so many things, so many people, so many just so many things basically that happen to you along the way. And if you are not firm in your beliefs, in your values, it will be so easy for you to get swayed. And if you get swayed, then you miss your balance, and once you have missed that balance, it may really be hard to rebalance yourself. So I hope I've made sense. Basically, it's just something that was on my mind, and I thought I needed to share that it's perfectly fine to start where you are, because I've spoken to quite a number of young people, actually, like people in their early 20s, middle 20s, that feel very discouraged because they feel like they don't have a lot of things that they see other people having. Some of these people are even older than us, but there's just this sense of, okay, this person is doing great, and these are the things that they have. Okay, and sometimes we think that what people have is what makes them great. We forget that it's their values and how they're able to capitalize on them that made them great. They didn't get those things, they didn't become great because they had those things. They had those things, and those were the things that made them great. I don't know if you understand me. So yeah, basically, it's something that I've seen happening around a lot, and I just felt like I needed to talk about it, because there may be one or two people out there that are also experiencing the same thing, that may feel like they are not ready yet, or they're not proud of themselves, or they feel shy because they don't have the same thing that they see everybody else having. So yeah, basically, yeah, I can see your message, Junior. Yes, the only thing important is to start, which is very, very true. Say you had a crazy week planned, so you can only I'm so sorry. It's a working week, right? And today is Monday, so I guess you'll be so tired. Anyways, you might want to go to bed early. Actually, you'll definitely be so tired. It's late. Especially if you work all day and tomorrow again is work. But thank you so much for joining in. I really, really appreciate you. Yes, you are very right. The most important thing is for you to start and then build on what you have started. Even if you start confused, and you don't have to remain the same, whatever it is that you start doing. I know people that go to, let me say, medical school, for example, and after a while they realize that they no longer want to be doctors and they go ahead and do something else, which is thing about life. Life is not stagnant. Life is not static. You can start something and when you're 40 years old you feel like you need to go ahead and do something else. You can always move. You don't need to finish as the same thing that you started as. No, that's not how life works. Life is a accumulation of our experiences. Okay, it's the journey that matters, not the destination. So you can start out doing something else, and any day you wake up and feel like this no longer resonates with you, your destiny and your purpose, and you have been called to do something else, that you have another assignment on your life, it's totally fine. You can decide to do something else. Okay, there are people that start a business today and in the next 5 years they want to do another business. For me, I think that's fine, because we are not called to just do one thing in life. We're not called to just be one thing in life. Life is about getting as many experiences as you can. Life is about reaching out to as many people as you can. It's about touching lives. It's about giving out to the society and the world. It's about going on adventures, experiences, enjoying the journey. Okay, that's basically what life is about. So if you're somewhere, if you're doing something that makes you feel like you are static or stagnant, it's totally fine to get up and move. It's totally fine to involve yourself in something else. Okay, as long as you feel like this is something you want to do. We have instinct and we have our mind. If your mind is really telling you something, what for us Christians we would say it's the Holy Spirit that is speaking to us, but what people generally like to say, okay, your instincts or your mind. I think I believe so much in listening to my instincts, my mind, and the Holy Spirit, because it will never lead you astray. If you feel like you really need to do something heavy on your mind, go ahead and do that thing. You may not know the reason today, but eventually you would find out why. So embrace the journey. Don't always listen to what people have to say, and don't seek validation from outside people, because many people don't understand your journey. They don't know your story, and they are not going to be there to lend a helping hand if everything goes to ashes. So be sure to do what's best for you, as long as you're not harming anybody, as long as you're not hurting anybody. And try to get some courage. If you don't have one, try to get courage. Boldness is very important. Okay, there are some people that are not even smart. There are some people that don't even know what they're doing, but just that they have courage. Okay, they have boldness, so they are more visible than other people. Okay, I think boldness and courage is one of the very, very important things in life. If you're not bold, if you don't have courage, you can't stand up for yourself, you can't stand up for others. You won't be able to take opportunities when they come. You won't be able to key into ideas because you are too shy, you're too timid. Okay, you'll be in a crowd of people and an opportunity will be presented before you, but because you feel too small, you won't be able to get up and speak. Someone else to try to take an opportunity that is yours, but because you feel small, you won't be able to stand up and say, no, that is mine, it belongs to me. You won't be able to claim what rightfully should belong to you. So shyness and timidness have a lot of disadvantages, a whole lot. I know firsthand, because I used to be really shy. I used to be really quiet and a bit timid, I guess. So I know firsthand that those things have disadvantages. Being bold, being courageous is 100%. I'm not saying being loud, be loud or be lousy. No, two very different things. But you need to be able to stand up for yourself. Very, very important. You need to be able to stand up for yourself. You need to be able to claim what rightfully belongs to you. You need to be able to see opportunities and then go after those opportunities, believing that it's your right to get it, that you are capable of getting it. And the thing about being bold is that you will encounter certain people that will just try to put you down. Okay, some people know that you are capable of doing this thing, but they will try to discourage you. They will try to speak fear into you, either so they can take the opportunity that belongs to you, or just because they want to ridicule you. Some people naturally are just terrible people, so even though they know that you are capable of doing this thing, they will just talk down on you to see if you would waver. Okay, that's where you really need to be firm on your whatever choice or decision that you made, to say that, okay, no, I can do this thing, I'm capable of this, I'm the right person for the job. If I go after this thing, I'm going to win it. So I deserve this opportunity, I deserve this chance. Standing up for yourself is honestly, it's very, very important. I recommend 100%. So thank you so much, Junior, for being here. I think I've said everything that I have to say for this live. I think I've shared my ideas, I've shared my my thoughts, and I've said some encouraging words. I noticed that I really like to encourage other people, because I know what it's like when I didn't have anyone to encourage me. So I've noticed that I really, really love to encourage other people. Thanks a lot. Because I do know what it's like when you have no one to encourage, especially if you're going through a hard time. Sometimes you just need to hear like few words. You just need to hear just one sentence that will uplift you and make you feel like you can do it in life. Okay. I know that people are going through so much. People are in different situations, different circumstances. Some people are overwhelmed, many people are having a hard time. So sometimes we just need someone to just tell us something that makes us feel like yeah. everybody everybody has been through a lot. Yeah, I have actually. I really have. But everybody has been through a lot, and I'm grateful for my journey, because I feel like that is what has led me here. My journey has made me learn the things that I learned. If I had everything smooth, I don't think I would know many of the things that I know today. I don't think I would do many of the things that I'm doing today if I had a smooth life. So yeah, I'm still very, very grateful for the journey, because it has shaped me into who I am now. And yeah, I feel like I'm getting better every day. So definitely still thankful. Yeah, still appreciate the journey. I think everyone should appreciate your journey too, because your journey is what will lead you into destiny. Your journey is what will lead you into purpose. And life is perspective, life is mindset. I think I've said that here too many times. Life is perspective, life is mindset. If you go through a tough time and you see it as the end of the world, that's what it's going to be for you. But if you go through a tough time and you think about, how can I turn this to my advantage, how can I make this situation benefit me? Okay, what is the good side of this, or what is the lesson for me to learn from this situation? Why did this thing happen, and what can I take out of this? Okay, if you see it that way, I think it changes how the situation affects you, actually, because you know that this is happening not to break you, but to shape you, to transform you, and you can use this as a ladder to step into your next level. So it all depends on how you react to the situation. There's a popular saying that life is 20% what happens to you and 80% how you react to the situation. The way that you react is more important than what really happened. And that's it. Something can happen and two people will react to it in two different ways. Depends on their mindset, depends on their perspective, depending on how they see life and how much they have matured and grown. As another popular saying that it's not age that makes a person mature, it's what they have been through, it's what they have experienced that makes a person mature, which is why sometimes I encourage people to just go out and experience things. As long as it's not something life threatening, just go out and, you know, have experiences, because they open your mind, they change the way that you think, they grow you. Okay, just have experiences for the sake of having them. Just go on adventures, just do something new with your life, because it develops you actually. Wow. I think that's part of the reason people travel to different continents, to experience different cultures, different people, different traditions, different foods. Just a way of opening your mind, just a way of exposing yourself to new way of thinking, new ways of doing things, new ideas, new concepts. Okay, that's I think that's basically what life is about: evolving, growing. Okay, fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. Life is supposed to be a calm river anyway. So yeah, just start things. You're right, Junior. 100% right. Popular saying, a calm sea never made a good sailor, or what's that one? Something like that. Like, a calm sea never made an experienced sailor. Something along that line. So yeah, it's exactly like, if you start today, it's going to be hard. Even if you start 10 years, it's still going to be hard, because you're still going to start from scratch. And sometimes we think starting from scratch is about what we have before we start. Starting from scratch basically means that you don't have any knowledge about what you're starting. I think that's it. Starting from scratch means that you don't have any experience in this thing that you're starting. It's not about what you have, or how much money you have, or what. It's not about that. Is that starting from scratch? Starting is basically starting without any experience. So if you don't have experience, whether you start today or you start in next 10 years, as long as you don't have experience, you're still going to start small. You're still going to start from scratch. My I think last I didn't go to church yesterday, so last Sunday, the youth pastor in church, he was talking about when when he was and he wanted to play the guitar, but he was thinking it was too old. Everybody else that was playing the guitar, they were very young, so he didn't learn how to play the guitar. And it's been like 15 years, and he still doesn't know how to play the guitar. But if he had started learning back then, by now he would have learned it much more. So whether you start today or in the next 10 years, you're still starting from zero anyways. Most people nowadays don't want to embrace the struggle and suffer, even for what they say they really want. You're absolutely right. People don't want to struggle like before. Like before, you would see people that were even willing to go through a hard time to get what they want. But somehow, I don't know, these days we feel like we need to get everything on a platter of gold. We feel like life needs to be easier. We feel like we should get things, at an easy rate than we're actually supposed to. One of the issues, because I'm a business owner, so I know a lot about business, at least to an extent. One of the reasons some businesses fail is because the level of time, the level of effort that the owners estimated before they started is not actually what they eventually needed to put in. I think that applies to life generally. Actually, we underestimate the amount of effort that we need to put into certain things. If you want to learn something, sometimes we feel like we can learn that thing in 6 months. Meanwhile, in reality, we need like 3 years to learn that thing. So that's why we give up. We give up early because we underestimated what it takes to achieve that thing that we want to achieve. It's like how some people go to school and they think it's going to be, a bit easier to learn the courses, go to classes, but it becomes harder than what they imagine. So they tend to give up early and feel like this is too much for me. So I think it's always better to overestimate the amount of effort you would even need to put in. Okay, you play guitar, piano, and flute. Oh, that's nice. You play 3 instruments then. Guitar, piano, and the flute. Learning is hard. Yeah, honestly, I remember that I tried to learn how to play the keyboard when I was much younger. This is about maybe 12 years ago. I tried to play the keyboard. I did learn a few. I used to play at church actually. I did learn a few, but then I gave up somewhere along the lines because of like the time, and the instructor was no longer available and things like that. So yeah, And like, this is the final thing I want to say. Some opportunities come, I think we should be very open to take those opportunities when they come, because certain opportunities do not come twice. Okay, if something comes to you easily and you don't make good use of it, trust me, the next time you're going to come across that thing, it's going to be a lot harder. Either you would have to pay for it, or it's going to be a lot more strenuous. Some things come to us easily and we don't appreciate it as much. Okay, sometimes we get an opportunity, like someone just offers to us, either probably you want to take a course and someone says, okay, I paid for this course, come and take it. But at that moment you feel like you don't need it, so you don't take that course. Okay, so that passes you by. Then years later, when you realize that, oh wow, you really actually need this course, you will need to bring out money from your pocket and pay for that thing, because you didn't appreciate it when you got it for free. That's something that I've noticed. Some opportunities come and we don't even realize that these are once in a lifetime opportunities that we are getting, because they came so easily and we could not really understand why we needed it at that moment. But later, when you need that thing, you can no longer get it for free, you can no longer get it easily. That's the thing about being young. If you're young, you make a lot of mistakes. I think it's such a privilege, it's such a great thing to be older, because the older you get, the smarter you actually are. But when you're young, you do make a lot of mistakes due to lack of experience, due to lack of maturity. Okay, so like getting older is really a blessing, because you see life differently. Which is why if you're young, make reasonable mistakes. Okay, because that's how you learn, that's how you grow. You don't want to be 40 years old and still making some mistakes that you should have made when you were like 25, when you were like 30, right? So the just live life basically. Don't be stuck in one place, don't be stuck in your head, don't be stagnant, don't be rigid. Just live life, explore, have experiences, go on adventures, like just do things. Basically maximize your life while you can. So basically that's it. So that's all about the topic for today. Starting small. Thank you, Junior, for joining. I appreciate you. You said you're working at the moment. I'm trying to look for that comment where you said, okay, you said you're still working, probably you're working on your laptop or something like that. Okay, so well, I don't think my age is not really a secret. I think I mentioned it in one of my videos, or I'll probably mention it while talking. But just know that I'm in my mid-20s. That, that's all you need to know. I'm in my mid-20s. Okay, still I'm not still young actually, still young, but I'm in my mid-20s already. So yeah, still young. Yeah, nice. Yeah, like I said, like knowledge comes from experiences, and it comes from reading, it comes from deep thinking, but it comes a lot from experiences. When things happen to you and things happen around you, you should actually take note of these things, internalize them, and then reason them out. Okay, don't necessarily need to wait for something to happen to you before you understand it. Things that happen around you should also be case study. Adrian, I've seen you before. Hi, welcome to my live in this crazy world, right? Like the world is really crazy, honestly. Like so many things that should not be normalized have been normalized, and the things that should even be normal are not seeming abnormal. Like I don't know, if someone sits down and thinks about how everything in this world is going, I don't think it's really making sense anymore, because so many things that are not even okay, that some 30 years ago these things were abominations, they were taboo. Today they are normalized, and the things that are even normal are now being looked down on. I beg. Like it's crazy out here. Adrian, how are you doing? I'm doing well, and you? Hope you had a nice day. Happy Monday. Hope you went to work today. Hope you are doing well. This is actually the end of the live. I've said everything that I had to say. I think I've exhausted my words on this topic. Basically, we just talked about starting small, and then growing on what you have already started, building on what you started. Do not despise your little beginnings. It's in fact it's very even normal to even start small, unless your father is like a billionaire or something, which is not realistic for 99.9% of people in the world. So starting small is even the norm. I don't even know who made us feel like it's not normal. Okay. Yeah, for real, like I didn't even plan for this live to be um 40 minutes long. So I don't know, I think I just got carried away trying to like share everything that was coming to mind, based on like just sharing my experiences and everything. But yeah, I'll definitely get water to drink. I have water here. Thank you so much for being observant. That's so nice. That's so nice. But I do aim to do longer lives. Actually, I do enjoy being on live. I think I've said it before. It's a bit more manageable for me, because for I also like edited videos, but those ones, they are becoming a bit it's not always possible for me. Yeah, basically. So Junior, I saw that message. Why did you delete it? Hey Jan, nice to have you here, but I'll be ending the live now. Exactly, as I said, starting small, but like I do plan to do longer lives, but not always possible for me. So I just do what I can when I can. But I absolutely love like talking with everybody, interacting with everybody in real time. I love sharing my ideas. I love sharing my journey. Yeah, basically it's just something that I realized of lately that I like, and I'm just trying to enjoy it as much as it lasts, because I do realize that I could wake up one day and not enjoy doing this as much as I enjoy doing it now. So yeah, just enjoying it in the moment. Thank you so much for being here with me, and have a lovely night. Bye.